have to explain this one. First, I'm gonna read it. Dion, I don't think you're going home tonight. If you are, I'm going to cry because this didn't work. I have a really tight alliance with John, but I don't know. The other three, we seem to get along better, and I feel like we can just, like, we need a core four, and I feel like the core four is with them. But I can't tell that to John. It would break my heart. So hopefully Courtney is voting with Dion and Kathy, and we'll vote John out, and I can just be safe and pretend that I'm voting for Dion. So Dion, this is not real, not even a little bit. Hopefully it's John.
We get worried when they take a long time. To make sure it's clear, that is Dion and not myself.
Gets more janky each time I use it.
It's just some comb here.
I know, right? I tried.
I'll fix it, don't worry.
Okay. Sorry, John. I really want to work with you and Laura deep into this game, but I just gotta save my own butt.
Gotta stop doing this. This vote is no different than any other. I'm voting you, so it's not me. I've been told that I'm going to get 2 votes. I'm really hoping that third vote is not for me.
I hate this. I'm afraid you might be trying to take out Dion. And I know I said I'd work with you, but Dion's my first, so hoping this works out. Sorry.
John, tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
I'll just say this one before she comes back, otherwise it would be in the flow of the conversation. But obviously you made friends, maybe some enemies, but mostly friends. Who are your strongest connections with? Who might you be rooting for from this point on?
I will still root for Laura and Courtney, even if they were the ones who voted me out. Laura and I went back to day one or night one, and we've been good together for most of the time. And frankly, I'm not terribly surprised that they voted me out, because it occurred to me that I'd vote myself out if I was in their shoes.
That is an interesting, survivor strategy way of thinking. That when you think it all through and do all the calculus, and it's like, wait a minute, the wisest thing for all involved is to vote me out. It's like, what do you do in that moment?
I don't want to sound conceited, but I think that it wasn't a bad choice. And I tried very hard this time to not be too pushy in the game, but a lot of times I came out and took kind of a leadership role because I knew some of the prior challenges, and I kind of organized people about getting them together in terms of who might be voted out next. And so I kind of backed off of that at the end, and I went for a more consensus-based model. But still, I think that they may have seen me as being too authoritative, perhaps.
Okay. So that leads me to the important question, which is this. Your game is over, but you still have an influence on the game. Give me the name of one person that you would like to see get an advantage in the game.
On any team?
Any team, anyone out there. Take your time, no hurry.
I'm still going to say Laura.
What other people were you considering right there?
Katie, because we were working on a good alliance before we got split up. Courtney, I think she was a good player, and we were pretty tight there as well. I think those were the three contenders.
So ultimately, the bond with Laura feels the strongest.
Yeah, because we were together the longest, I think, and we consulted in a lot of stuff, and I ought to know better than to trust Laura's, but but I did, and I wish her well still. It's a game.
Bring in the tribe.
It is. So let's back up to the very beginning. You had quite an interesting journey to end up here, at times feeling sort of neutral because it seemed like the Blue Tribe was feeling like, okay, maybe a swap is coming, maybe we're not going to be voting with these people, so why commit to too much? But then feeling up because you had the 4-4, and then did the idol surprise you from Bill?
He told me about it beforehand, or actually a few minutes beforehand, so I knew about it. Maybe that was my mistake, is to agreeing to vote Bill off. Maybe we should have stuck tight with the red, and maybe things would have been different.
And then once he played that, and suddenly 4-3, feeling pretty good. But then but then challenges aren't going your way, and going there over and over again, not fun. And then, did you feel at any point that this might happen, or is your looking back, you understand why they targeted you, or did you ever have a gut feeling that they might turn, that they might have a reason to turn?
I had a gut feeling after we lost the food challenge that the dynamics of the group were such that they might want to get rid of me just because I don't think it's an age-based thing. I think it had to do more with just maybe how I played the game, and I may have been a bit more pushy than I should have been. Maybe it had nothing to do with it, I don't know. I think that from the green team's point of view, they probably wanted to split us up, because if we had stayed strong to the end, that would be difficult for them, and they got rid of Bill, so.
So what do you think the ultimate fate of this tribe is going to be?
Jeremiah, come on.
I think they're going to have a hard time. I hope there's a challenge that they can win, but I'm curious to see what happens there. It's going to be tough, especially if they have to go back again.
What do you think? What's your impression of, given that, obviously Blue is winning a lot. What's your impression of the two other tribes? How do you see the game trending?
Well, I think that Blue's going to continue to do well, and when the merge comes, you're going to find what's left of red and yellow combining forces to battle it out. That's the way it always happens. The underdogs will get together.
Seems to be. All right. Well, switching gears from game mode, taking a step back, you've played 3 times now, and you've been a valuable part of production in the other years. How do you feel about the overall experience?
It's wonderful. I've enjoyed every single time I've played, each time more so. I may be retiring from playing the game now after 3 times you're out, but I accomplished almost what I wanted to. I wanted to get to the merge. That was my ultimate goal, but I managed to stick in there and get some feel for playing the game that I missed the other time, and in terms of strategizing and getting that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen.
Did you feel like you got some redemption out there?
I think so. And if we had just won a couple challenges more, it would have been a different story. 11 seconds made the difference there, I think.
Yeah, that seems to be a refrain.
Mm-hmm.
It's the narrow slice, that edge of victory, just right there.
I think the 4 of us would have stuck together really tightly had it not been for the fact that you have to vote for somebody at some point.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you.
We have a